This video is going to take you through the end of year process for either writing off or carrying forward outstanding billable items. Now you can look at a student's transaction summary, which will detail all the transactions on their account, including any billable items where there is still an outstanding balance owed. So for this particular student, it's quite simple and straightforward in that they have got 4 items assigned to them, none of which have been paid off, and so they have an outstanding balance of $240 debit. Now it might be easier to actually look at the write-off screen, which will simply display for that student the items where there is still money owing. So you find this screen by going back into Finance and Processing, and the default screen is to show a list of billable items for the whole school where there is still monies owing, and you can write off the debt at this point. I'm going to select my individual student, and we can see that these are the 4 items that have been assigned to her, it's the amount owing. There's also the distinction made at this stage between the item which is voluntary and items which are compulsory. So a decision then needs to be made about which items I'm going to write off, i.e. I don't expect to receive the money for those items, and which items I want to carry forward to the next year, and hopefully I will be able to get payment for those outstanding items. So I'm going to write off the activity donation and the music lessons. So I select the button, and there's a message that comes up that just explains that because this is a voluntary payment, so it's not money that the school necessarily could expect to receive, the debt associated with the billable item will not become part of the school's bad debt. And then there's just, are you sure you want to continue? And I do, so I'll select OK for that. And I'm also going to write off the music lessons, and a similar message, except because with the music lessons this is money that the school has probably paid out, and so in that case they are out of pocket. It would be considered part of the school's bad debt, and that's just explained in the message. And again, are you sure you want to continue? I'm pressing OK. Disappears. So at this stage we've written off 2 items for this particular student, and 2 of the items I want to carry forward in the hope that I may be able to get the money for those at some point. If I go back to that student's transaction summary, you'll see that the actions that I've just taken will be reflected on their transaction summary. So I've written off 2 items, $100 and $40, and the billable item balance has been removed because they've been written off, and there's an explanation there. And the balance has obviously been reduced by the amount that has been written off. In order to see some reporting around the write-offs, you can go into the reporting part of Finance, select the billable item, and a PDF will be generated for that particular billable item. So we can see it was the activity donation, which was voluntary for $100. This particular student hasn't paid anything, but we have written off $100, so there is in fact nothing owing. If you wanted to get a summary view of all the billable items in the school, then you would generate the billable item summary report. And again, this shows all the items that have been set up by the school, and you can see what's been written off. So I've written off $100 for that activity donation. We've also got the $40 for the music lessons. And there's some other write-offs that were done prior to this demo, but that will give you the total for the actual for the whole of the school. For those items that I want to carry forward, What will happen with those is when you get to the next year, there will be an outstanding debit balance of $100 carried forward for this particular student's account. And at the beginning of the year, with the transaction date of the 1st 2014, the description will be balance carried forward, the debit amount of $100 with a balance of $100 owing, and that will stay on the account until the items that make up that balance are either written off or paid. Just going back to the write-off screen, we selected an individual student and wrote off 2 billable items specifically for her. As a global process, it is possible to write off debt for the whole of the school. So in this scenario, the school donation was assigned to all the students in the school. If you wanted to write off that total amount, you would then, the process is the same, select the write off debt button, and it would remove the debt from every student to which that billable item was assigned. So they're the steps that you need to go through to either carry forward or write off billable items at the end of the year.